Unfiltered with Ndongo Gashane and Daniel Kariuki.
Thank you for joining us. This is Unfiltered. This is where we do not filter. Nothing is off the table. We discuss things as they are. And of course, I'm joined with my friend Dan. Uko namna gani Dan?
What is it?
Najua unanichanganya naona unainama kidogo hapo. Najua uko nini unisengenya.
I know, I was just going through some notes, my notes, so that we are well aligned here on Unfiltered.
Are you now aligned?
We are aligned. My name is Daniel Kariuki, and I'm also happy to be here as we do this every Thursday at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. as we talk to various leaders, various guests on what is happening in the country, the state of politics, the state of the nation, and other matters that concern the general public. And even today we have, he told me he's an engineer.
He's an engineer. Atatuambia ni engineer wa nini. Unajua hata kule Rift Valley
kuna engineer.
There's a very serious engineer.
Bwana engineer.
Yes.
Engineer ni mkarabati.
Atatuambia.
Welcome to Unfiltered.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes, and we are ready to hear from you. So first and foremost, we start with introduction, definitely.
Yes. Thank you very much for hosting me today. My name's Engineer Karanja Mboro Wamatangi, and I'm from Kiharu constituency in Murang'a County. And I think I've been in leadership, not elected, but in leadership since probably 2005. Different levels, youth leader, came all the way, and then I have been politics. I ran in 2017 with a Jubilee ticket. Then went independent. Then I ran in 2022. And I'm still there and do a lot of work in Kiharu, where we construct water tanks and make sure children have water in their schools. We have done 88 of those, and I'm sure that every child in Kiharu, our goal is to make sure no child should be fetching water at this time. You cannot carry a computer and a phone and then you have a water jerrycan. So that's things that we should eradicate, and that's what we are doing in Kiharu. And also we do programs like sponsorship, and there is one that we started 3 years ago called Nyumba Mashinani, where there are families that one time you see that jiggers and such a things are happening, and then you are able to like come up and just construct a home at a very good price, and then you offer that family a good living.
Right.
And I have seen that improve their lives, and those children do even better in school. They are not ashamed anymore. So we uplift children's life mostly.
When you said about running in 2017,
yes,
on Jubilee ticket,
yes, I went.
Is it nominations?
I went through the nominations
because 2017, Didi Nyoro was elected as the area MP.
Area MP, but when I went through the nomination, I did not feel it was fair, so went ahead and went independent.
Right.
And with about that 8% votes. In Kiharu, about 35,000, I felt that the people felt that my vision was right, because that's not a small number.
That
you
was it.
In through Jubilee in 2022.
2022, I got a clear Jubilee ticket, and then I still also came second.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you 2017, and then you went independent. Didi Nyoro won, and then 2022 you disappeared, but at least he has put the record straight.
No. When you get to politics, and if you have a vision for a constituency, the people who disappear, they come there for a job. This is not a job. This is leadership. You don't disappear. You stay with your people. And because the only way I will not run for Kiharu seat is if somebody fulfills my vision and the goals that I have for Kiharu people. Then that way, then you cannot run. But even today, I don't feel my vision has been implemented.
So you do not believe that the incumbent has fulfilled what you had in mind?
He has fulfilled what he had in his mind, what he thinks is good for Kiharu, and that is good. Myself, I have my vision, as I said, like the water system. And sometimes when we look at schools, we look at hardware. what about the software? Today we are everywhere with all the digitals, the AIs. When is that going to be introduced in our schools? That's why I come in with the visions like that, so that we get the software part of it, touch the child, the programs that are actually touching the child himself. I know we can do infrastructure, but infrastructure is good. We don't complain. We are saying the work has been done, but also there is other more work to be done, and that's why I'm saying I think the vision that I have not been scratched.
Okay.
Yes.
All the best.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Kiharu anasema nini?
Kiharu, in fact, if you ask politically, we are one term. So I'm speaking on the behalf of them because
On the behalf of the people of Gitaru.
Yes.
And Kiharu.
Yes.
Because you've been going around.
I've been going around. I've talked to women. I've talked to everybody. Their life is so hard today. They don't have money. The money that we have been promised in the pocket, my pesa mfukoni, all that is gone. In fact, pesa mfukoni, I think I don't know whose mfukoni is going to, because today the people in Kiharu, they are one term. And I happened last week we hosted our second deputy president, or the alternative government. We were with Kalonzo Musyoka also, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, and also the second deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. We hosted them in Kahuru and in Kahatia, yes.
In Kiharu.
Yes, in Kiharu.
And
When they came, you know, some of this, we have been in politics, a lot of politics. People pay people to come into their meetings. I'm telling you the truth. The only spending I did was to get 2 vehicles and go around those villages and announce that the alternative government would be in Kahuru and Kiharu. And the place was packed.
Oh.
Yes, there was no money spent. Mobilization, the money I spent, which was the money that was worth spending to spread the gospel that they are coming. They came, we went to church, and then they went to Kahuru Center, and we went to Kahatia Center, and the place was packed.
You are accompanying them?
No, I hosted.
No, you actually
Yes,
hosted.
I was hosting the team. Yes.
So they were in Muranga, in Kiharu, Muranga recently, but a few hours ago, they were in Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
And there, the United Opposition, or rather as you are calling it, alternative government, met with the 4th President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
What do you make of that meeting of Uhuru and the second Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, when they could not see eye to eye? Now they seemed to be speaking the same language in that barrio.
Let me tell you, there is something that is called politics. There is no enemies and there is no friends in politics. So their meeting was brought in through the death of our former Senator Kirinyaga. But what happened, in the real sense, you could tell body language and the message that was conveyed there. In fact, it was in us Christian, we say it's what God said. God set it up so that it would be so. Because if you look at even the body language, the way they were sitting next to each other, the way they were talking, even outside the tents, you can see that they are conversing and talking. So what happens right now? Everybody's talking about the mountain and everything, and yes, I agree, the mountain must unite if we have to make a difference in this country. But on the other side, we have also to look at who is the mountain and also who else is around the mountain. The people who are suffering, they are not only the mountain people, as we say, Kikuyus. No. Everybody is suffering. And the mountain is being used as a Kikuyu, but also the mountain is standing for the people who are suffering in the country. There is the Luyas, there is the Masais. They are all under the one-term conversation of the mountain. So right now, people need to know that mostly this government that is so corrupt and so have so many bad things to talk about, they need to know that when they talk about the mountain, we are not talking about the Kikuyus only. Remember, our Deputy President Gachagua said very well, we went around the mountain and now we are talking to our cousins. Who are the cousins? Luyas, those are not mountain. but also they are still under the umbrella of the mountain. So the talking of the Uhuru yesterday, he's the common denominator in the alternative government. His moves, his talks was like, no, I'm beyond being a Jubilee leader, which we can tell from yesterday. I'm above that. And he portrayed that through his message, that I'm above this, where he was requesting the church to stop misleading our people. On the other side, he was also talking about, no, we need to unite. You need to unify ourselves. So I think he's a common denominator in the united opposition, as we call it.
You say he's like, he is above. Are you saying he's above Gachagua when you say that he's the...
Yeah, in fact, saying he's above Gachagua, I don't want to use the name above. He's portraying himself as the common denominator. He's the umbrella of all these people now. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna come pick Matiang'i. I'm not gonna pick Gachagua. I'm not gonna pick Kalonzo. I am here to support the unity. And because we know him from the past government, how he tried to unify. Remember, he had a handshake with Raila Odinga, the late. So if you look at those people, they need somebody who is unifying them, because in politics they will disagree. Maybe let's say our lady Mother Karua might disagree with Gachagua in one way, might disagree with Kalonzo, but those disagreements, they need like a mediator. They need a mentor. They need a
unifying factor.
Yes, unifying factor.
Yes,
fact,
when you come to Mount Kenya now,
yes, yeah.
He has a party.
Yes.
Because Jubilee Party belongs to former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
And he has his deputy,
yes,
Fred Matiang'i, who is the party's flag bearer.
Yes.
And now we have Gachagua here.
Yes.
Who is the leader for the Democracy for Citizens Party.
True.
And now, when you say that he's a unifying factor, what do you make of the praise of these two political parties in Mount Kenya with, while you factor Uhuru's dominance as this big uniting or unifying figure?
You know, you can read between the lines. Even in his whole speech, did he talk about Jubilee?
Neither Gachagua.
He did not. He did not talk about Jubilee. But if you look in whole speech, he's trying to unify these two. So will there be a coalition between Jubilee and DCP? Which I think when you go to the ground, a lot of people are waiting for that.
People are waiting for a coalition between DCP and Jubilee.
You told me you were talking about Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
So I'm still in Mount Kenya right now. So they are looking at, will there be, and people are asking, will there be a coalition between Jubilee and DCP? If it's not, because there are the people who are talking about it. If it does
this coalition
happen,
is it about zoning, or what do you mean by the coalition?
I said a question. The people are asking that question.
Yes.
Will there be a coalition for Jubilee and DCP? That's the question they're asking. The answers are, one, there can be a coalition where it's zoning. And right now, Mount Kenya is DCP area. Let's talk about the truth. Our second Deputy President, His Excellency Deputy President Gachagua, has done his homework. He has gone around, and that's why he was in Kahatia. He was in.
So you're saying Mount Kenya is DCP? Right
now, yes. Popularity, Jubilee is, compared to where it was, is very low on popularity. Popularity, Jubilee has gone down. And unless they have another mission to come and popularize its party, right now, according to the ground, and the Uhuru said very well, anasikiza nini? Anasikiza ground. He told us
saying that he meant the DCP
so,
party.
You tell me, nasikiza ground, whose slogan is that? DCP. So is he saying I'm supporting what is happening? And I think the way we need to look at it, the last election, 2022, Mount Kenya went without its own bus, we call it, without its own party. This time we want to have a party. But if we bring 2 different or 3 different parties, I think that will fragment the votes. And we do not want to fragment any votes. Mostly, if you heard the way Mother Karua said yesterday, we need one candidate in each seat. be a president, be the MP, be the governor, be the senator. We need somehow the united opposition need to work a formula where we have one seat. And the only way we can succeed there is zoning. For example, do you hear DCP in Ukambani? It's Wiper.
It's Wiper.
We need to accept that.
So you are talking about these parties become regional parties.
Yes.
So that we have in Mount Kenya, for example, it's about DCP. In Western, we have the democracy. Is it called Democracy for Actions Party?
Yeah.
That belongs to Wamalwa.
Yes.
We also have another party. Do we have any opposition party in Western other than DAPK?
No. Yeah, DCP, because
when you talk about zoning,
Malala is the deputy president of DCP, the deputy leader for DCP. So we need
sasa hiyo si ni kujipenda. You are talking about regional parties,
and then you are taking the same party to Western.
Now, don't you think that may trigger very very serious internal wrangles within the opposition when you talk about zoning and parties being regional parties, and you see Jubilee? Where would Jubilee be if you talk about...
Right now, Jubilee, where is a stronghold for Jubilee? It have shifted to Kisii. It has. It has shifted because, some of these things, we don't talk about them because I'm a leader talking about them. Go to the ground. Go ask the people. Because at the end of the day, they are the voters. Go and ask them, and ask them in a very polite way. What wanasemaje huku, and they'll tell you.
So why do you think the Jubilee's influence has shifted from Mount Kenya to the Gusii region?
Truthfully, because right now, as you saw, our fourth president talked about he has retired. Niko nyumbani, nasikiza ground. So he's not very active. And according to the region now, you see, okay, there is like a gap in the region. And that's where our second deputy president came in and filled up that vacuum. And then the deputy leader for Jubilee is from Kisii. What happens? So it got strong there. And on this side, we are like, okay, who is there as our leader in Mount Kenya? And that's where now you start balancing out. And I think the biggest part, Jubilee don't have even activities going on. And DCP, we have activities going on. They don't. On a serious note, how many times have you seen the Jubilee Party going to meetings in Mount Kenya? And if you look at DCP, they have different meetings. Kirinyaga, they're here, they're everywhere. So I think that is causing the difference between DCP getting popular and Jubilee getting unpopular.
Could you say that the political rifts in the Mount Kenya region, the meetup that we saw, could be trying to mend that rift, trying to push to mend that rift that had been seen before? Or are they trying to show that the region is united, because there was that factor that Uhuru does not associate with Gachagua, and then Gachagua is there apologizing to the Kenyatta family, trying to bring and saying that we will not again attack our very own. That will never happen again. Uhuru and Gachagua now together, are they trying to say that now the region is united, trying to mend those
you'll be shocked to know that the region is united. The leaders are not yet. In fact, the region is united under one term. They already have that. They were just the meeting yesterday lifted something that they have always wanted. That's why either it was meant to be or not meant to be. Politics is perception. So right now, according to the people, the mountain is united because they did not see, because sometimes even in the same meeting, I'll give you an example. There was a meeting in Kiambu where the current president went, and there was our Matangi one side, the governor, and there was Alice who is running for governor. You saw there was fights in the podium. They were fighting. So yesterday, if the friction between Uhuru Kenyatta and Gachagua was there, it could have been portrayed out. But what did we read? What is the body language that came out? It came out unification. What both of them talked about the same thing, unity. We want to be together. We know Naskiza ground, they want to be together. The ground want all of us to be together. And that's what was promoted yesterday. And if they are promoting it, then it will be very hypocrisy if it was not true. But right now, according to what is happening, I think it's us talking about the parties, about Jubilee and DCP. But Mountain just want to be united under one umbrella. And I think right now, the way I was saying it, I think DCP has the upper hand to make sure that this goes on.
And that dalliance, that alliance,
Yes.
if at all I could call it that, can it be sustained to 2027?
We don't have a choice if we need to beat this government. It's not about us sustaining it. It's a do or die. We must sustain the alliance. If it's not sustained, then we are giving a free ticket to the suffering, to the she, sho, shu, and all those things. We have to make sure that no matter what it takes, we stay united. And it can, because if you look at the leaders who are there, the experienced leaders like Kalonzo and Gachagua and Matiang'i, they're experienced leaders. They are not amateurs. Martha Karua, these are people who worked with Kibaki. They worked with all the way with Uhuru, and we know them. So if they have a common goal, because if you listened to the message very well, he said, our wanasiasa, I think he used that. He said these politicians are not to look for the seats. The citizen don't care who is becoming the president or this or that. They want one candidate for the presidency. They want one candidate for governor. They want to make sure that everybody is united. And if somebody fraction himself out, where is he going? To run for that wheel? It's not going to happen.
And the reason I was asking that question is because there is a possibility we could see two candidates from the alternative government or united opposition in the 2027 race.
Yes.
I'm talking about having Kalonzo Musyoka as a presidential candidate, and also having Fred Matiang'i as a presidential candidate. This after they disagree on the right formula to come up with a flag bearer, as much as they have been insisting that we will sit down and come up with one person.
I think,
and you have seen it happen before.
I think this month, not later than end of this month, they are going for a retreat. I know that. And when they go for the retreat, they need to come up. You know, I think the way we need to put it, according to our wish and prayers as citizens, and also the people who are vying aspirants, we want it to be like the Pope. You remember the Pope when they elect the Pope? Yes. It's either black smoke or white smoke. We want to see if they don't agree, they come up with a black smoke. They continue on the retreat. Even if they have to go for the retreat for 30 days, they need to come with a white smoke.
What if the black smoke continues coming out and one decides, then let me leave so that they have a white smoke, and comes and again starts another campaign on the other hand? And also, as you answer that, where does it leave the other one-term members who are, or rather the one-term group that is pushing for the removal of President William Ruto in 2027? I'm talking about Linda Mwananchi, the ODM faction of Linda Mwananchi.
The Linda Mwananchi. And Mimi Sifuna. So I think what we need to look at is what are we fighting against? One common enemy. So if I'll give you an example. I was in Masai Land last month, and I was talking to them about unity and everything. The warriors, when they go attack a lion, they surround a lion, about 20 of them. And if one of them moves or backwards, they stop attacking the lion. They attack the person that is running away. Because we need to know that we have everybody in the united opposition today. He's saying we have a common enemy, and if you're not with us, you're either with us or without us. So we need to unify, because also the people are suffering so much. If somebody moves out, do you think they'll pull a bigger crowd even?
I was actually to ask you that question.
Yes.
Do you think should, for example, as my brother here puts it, if
Yes.
Matiang'i, for example, or even Kalonzo,
Yes.
pulls out from the united opposition,
Yeah.
do you think this is going to affect the outcome of next year's polls?
I think if somebody pulls out, they might get a little fraction, which will be more tribal or something like that, and not the whole tribe. Because as I told you, the people suffering are every citizen is crying. A lot of people are crying. So I think when somebody pulls out, the poll might be very fractional in a way that it will not be significant to make the difference. As long as whoever pulls out is an outcast and everybody else stays together. Yeah.
Wow.
I think, to me, I think time has come where, you remember 2022, no matter who else was running, 2002, when the Kibaki Tosha moment, no matter who else was aside or whatever was happening, everybody was united under one person. And I think that's what we're looking at.
Are you saying that Kenyans are united against the current government, that the current government, led by President William Ruto, who, by the way, is a shrewd politician,
Yeah.
are you saying that he cannot come up with ways that he can split that opposition, as we have seen before, and manage to craft a way out and win the election in 2027?
I think it happened in 2022 where there was an earthquake. Was it Musalia Mudavadi talking about the earthquake? But I think at this moment, the majority of the citizens of Kenya, they are against what he's doing. There is nothing he can do to fix what he has already messed.
When you talk about majority of Kenyans,
Yes.
engineer,
Yeah.
you know, it is a matter of going to the ballot to know that indeed majority of Kenyans.
Yes.
So how would you say majority of Kenyans, and yet we have not been able to get those statistics that
No,
a big number?
Let me tell you, most of these Kenyan voters, most of them, they vote emotionally. Right now, when you go to the hospital, your Linda Mama is gone. You have the SHA. Like the other day, 8 million. Somebody had a bill of 8 million, and 1.2 million is what was paid by SHA. That was not there before. So when I talk about majority of them, I'm talking about people think in fact, let me go by this. There is somewhere this government of current saying you don't have agenda. You don't have the agenda. The agenda is very clear. Everybody is like, the SHA is not working. The capitation is not happening. So these are the majority because it's touching the basics, the education, the health sector, the farming, the producers are not making any money. And those are the majority of the Kenyans. And that's why when I talk about it, they are not only looking at, as we are talking about DCP, Jubilee, and
Because
all
I would
the parties,
I would
they are
assume
also
that
looking-
maybe it's because you are in the alternative government, as you're saying everyone is tired of this government, because you're in the alternative government.
Yes, the people are tired. I tell you
It's
that.
the alternative government saying.
It's people who are saying, because if you look at economically how people are surviving today, it's very difficult, and those emotions will translate to those votes.
Let me ask you, engineer, we had recent by-elections in November 27 last year.
Yes.
And also,
This year,
in February.
we had by-elections for
Isiolo.
MCs.
Yes.
And also
and
Isiolo.
Isiolo. Now, the president won. The same president you say that Kenyans are tired
Yes.
about, and you say that everybody. That's why my
Majority.
Kariuki is asking you,
Yeah.
where did you get those statistics?
Majority.
Because I think the statistics ought to have been the results of these by-elections. Okay, be that as it may, the MP for Kalau passed away.
Yes.
And that is also another area where we shall see whether Kenyans are tired.
Very true.
Why do you think the president keeps winning, but you keep saying that Kenyans are tired?
I'll give you an example, like Ibere North, when he went there. The machinery that was used by the government, everything, the way it was put, if you have to run the whole country election like that on election day, there is no way. You don't even have enough police to even watch out one county of Nairobi. if that is all you have to use.
But the opposition led by Gachagua
Yes,
camped there,
yes.
right?
And the government camped there.
Yes.
With bags and bags
Of money.
of money and machinery
Okay.
and everything
But
else.
the government won. Don't you think that these by-elections are trying or are helping president in terms of raising the perception that he's still the king? And
No.
by that, do you think the government is going to take this Orkarao seat?
Oh, you better not. We're doing wherever it takes. It will not take this one.
Wherever it takes, you're
Wherever it takes.
including what?
Including mobilization and education, the civic education to the people, making sure that our campaigns are strategic to a way that this seat must come to. But it was a Jubilee seat, by the way, right?
Yes.
So we should make sure it's united opposition that takes it.
Because some say or some feel that this will be the deal breaker between the DCP and the Jubilee Party.
Yes.
Because we have some factors. One of the deputy party leaders for Jubilee Party,
Yes.
Jeremiah Kioni, comes from that area.
Yes.
Then we have Maina Commander,
Yes.
the coordinator
Yeah.
of DCP, has camped there.
Yes.
That's where he lives.
Okay.
We also have another factor of this guy called Medho.
Medho. Yes.
The senator for
Very
Nyandarua.
vocal.
That's what I'm
And-
saying. We
and
have
I-
the upper hand.
So,
on this.
but the seat belongs to Jubilee.
Yes.
Do you see a scenario where these two parties are going to just differ on who should sponsor a candidate? Because if the two parties field a candidate
Yeah.
and the UDA party fields a candidate, you'll be giving us stories here.
No,
You
no,
see-
no, no,
You will again say people are
you
tired.
see-
That, remember, in Bere North was the same. There was a DP candidate, there was Jubilee removed themselves,
Yes.
and there was also DCP candidate. Even at this time, the same unification you saw. This is even more magnified in a way that we have to make sure it's one candidate, and we do all our strategy combined effort, everything to make sure that we secure this.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I don't think there will be two.
Are you
I
sure
don't
you're,
think- I
you're
don't
going
think-
to agree on one candidate?
Yes.
The DCP and the Jubilee Party.
Yes, it will-
agreeing
at the
on one
end of
candidate.
the day, at the end of the day, if we are talking about we are united opposition, if we don't agree on one candidate, then we are not heading the right direction.
There is something that he has mentioned
Yes.
about Medho is the senator for
Yes.
That county,
Nyandarua.
Yeah.
We have the KPP member of parliament. It's called Wanjiku Muhia. Is in the DCP camp.
Yes.
We are talking of Gachagua has a soft. Actually, Nyandarua
Yeah.
seems to have a soft
Soft
spot
spot,
on Rigathi Gachagua.
And even Maina Commander.
And
Maina
Maina Commander is the
Commander,
patron,
yes.
I think, of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
of the
He's the chair of
pioneers or
eminence
something
persons.
Yeah,
eminence,
eminent people in,
in DCP.
Yes.
So we've talked of those are four leaders
Yes.
from DCP party.
Yes.
And then when you come to Jubilee, the late Charles
Yes.
was a
Jubilee.
Jubilee
Yes.
member.
Yes. Kememia.
Kememia, we don't know where he is.
Kememia is
No,
Jubilee
remember,
Party.
He is in
Kioni-
Jubilee, but we've
remember,
not seen him.
Kioni
that
and
we can
Kimemia, where were
associate.
they 2 weeks ago? Where did they go? To Amunyoro.
You see?
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm talking.
that-
That's,
so
that's what we
exactly
are
what
talking
I'm
about.
talking about.
No, it's
I'm
what we are
saying
talking
that
about.
no.
That
You guys are putting
that we might see a possibility of having these candidates push.
Okay.
And we have talked with some of these people who are in these parties,
Yes.
and each is pulling to their side
Yes.
that we'll have a candidate. In fact, the barrier has not happened.
Yeah.
But already the
yes.
parties are jostling for this
So,
position.
You are part of DCP. You
what-
say you have a better chance because of the leaders,
popularity.
the popularity.
Yes.
Now, these other people comes and tells, by the way, this was our party, this was our seat.
This is where now it calls for a nomination. The one we are saying the United
But you see,
nomination.
the law does not
The
allow
political parties.
Political parties.
It has
to
not
hold-
given that part of
yes,
joint
nominations.
nominations.
But I think the way it need to happen is like we did at Mbere. Who is the most popular candidate
the
of
boardroom.
united opposition?
The boardroom negotiations.
I hope I call it boardroom, but also there is statistical ones.
I think better enough. The
Scientific.
reason why that seat went for
Scientific.
DP is because the person who they were replacing was sponsored by the Democratic Party.
Yes.
In
That is
2022.
Geoffrey
Roko, who is now the current
Now,
CS for
if
Public
you use the
Service.
same formula in Orkarau, then your party is disadvantaged.
Again, because Jubilee, the member was a Jubilee, member.
No, that's why we are saying we are here as alternative, united alternative government. So even if he's a Jubilee member right there, and is one agreed upon, as long as we stay united. Remember, we talked about that word. So, but right now, it's either DCP or Jubilee, the way it seems.
Some others
But
feel
if they
that-
sit down and decide this is the person, it's a Jubilee candidate, but at the end of the day, it's a united alternative government candidate,
Here's a perception.
then we have to push that.
DCP is just a village party that can only fuel MCAs. You see?
And maybe area members of parliament from a certain region.
No, it has to be an agreement because you guys, what you are trying to do is trying to get now. I mean, united opposition, and I'm trying to dissect the parties out of it. But if we go back to yesterday, what were we talking about? United. We have to be united. The only way we can prove ourselves we are united is having one candidate,
Karua said-
despite which political party they are coming from.
Karua said,
As long as it's within the united opposition.
Karua said they're going to have friendly fires,
Yes.
but they are going to agree on one presidential candidate.
Yes.
What I understood by that, friendly fires is now where Jubilee is going to have a friendly fire with DCP and even PLP in Orkarau. And
DP and
the DP and
all
other
the
parties.
ones. Yes.
Ama, what did you understand?
No, we in fact, in politics we are not friends. It's interest, and that those fires will be there. And if we don't have those fires, that's how we'll come at. If we don't take those fires and turn them off, that's what's going to affect us when it comes to general election. We need to have the fires now so that we find a formula of turning those fires off.
Let me ask you.
And that's where now, remember what I just told you, the common denominator of this unification is who?
The former president.
Former president. And that's where he'll come in and now says, you know what, this is the
It's
way.
going to provide direction.
Yes.
Now, what should happen to you and any other candidate or aspirant who wants to be elected, should the united opposition fail to clinch the Orkarau seat?
I think when it comes to also the ground politics, let's go back to that. I believe today I'm not bagging on DCP securing me the seat in Kiharu. I am getting myself my popularity. I'm working myself on the ground so that I get voted as Wamatangi. And that's why when Jubilee had a big wave, I was also already being able to gang about 35,000 votes. Why? Because it was about the candidate. Even if it's not a wave, just only a wave. At the end of the day, you also, because I met the second deputy president, Uhuru-Gachagua, and you know what he told me? Wewe enda ground, uze jina yako. Because when we come, we're going to find out who is a popular candidate. So it's not only that just because I'm in DCP, it's
yes.
going to
So my question is,
yes,
what if the popular candidate,
yes,
I'm going to add that popular candidate, who will be fronted by the united opposition,
yes,
or the alternative government,
yes,
what lessons will you learn if, for example, your candidate is defeated by the UDA party? Decamp, join UDA, say 2 term?
No, 1 term is staying. We are not getting out of 1 term. Fighting this government, we are doing it for the sake of the citizens of Kenya. We are doing it to fix Kenya, because right now Kenya is fragmenting itself. We have to make sure that we fix it. So the 1 term is not going anywhere. Even if they win wherever seat they win, at the end of the day, 2027, we have one common goal: Ruto must go home. And we have to stick with that. No matter how, because when you go in a journey, the vehicle, sometimes the tire goes bad. You don't stop going. You fix the tire and you keep going. So we have to keep going until the end of the race.
There's something Uhuru said yesterday, former
Yes.
President
Yeah.
Uhuru Kenyatta,
Yeah.
that people should not elect politicians. They would rather go for the leaders.
The leader,
And he
yes.
went on and said
Yeah.
that a time has come for leaders to propagate issue-based politics.
Yes.
Policy-based leaders must be principled, but they should not be led by the ethnic bitterness.
Yes.
What do you understand by that?
I think
Who was being targeted by those by the former president?
he's the current president. I think you're trying to read so much beyond the line.
I'm just the
No,
former president said that. Dan, didn't you hear him say so?
Actually,
So
he talked of ethnic bitterness and also politics of insult.
Yes, and tribe,
Yes.
tribe, ethnic bitterness, insults.
And I tell you,
And
no matter
greedy
how,
for power.
you know, there is something that we try to run away from. The tribal formation of politics. Right now, when you hear we are talking about the current government, we're not talking about a tribe. We are talking about the president himself, who has let us down because he came with so many promises which he has not achieved. But at the end of the day, if you look at the formation of the Kenya politics,
All the political parties in the
yes,
country.
it is, and it's all tribal.
And that's why the former president wants Kenyans to stop. They
Look
should
in
focus
matters.
on yes.
And when he was talking about this, I think he was more addressing the Gen Zs, remember? Also, he talked about them, where they seem more to be more unified as a generation, but not as tribal. But if you look at right now, today, I'll tell you, go to Kambani. Go with the most popular party. I know, not in Ukambani, not Wiper. Go with another party. And somebody comes with Wiper. Who are they going to elect?
So that's why Uhuru wants Kenyans
Yes.
to not to elect leaders who are just tribal.
Yes.
The leaders who always speak about their communities.
Yes.
The leaders who only focus and live in their communities.
Yes.
Do you have one in mind?
No. let me tell you one thing. There's one thing I'll go back to you. When things come, we have to also remember, let's go back. Today, we are, the way we are made by God, generation-wise, is from family. God did not say, ignore your family and go. Secondly, I'll tell you something else. When we talk about the tribe, when we go to now to like, why was I born a Kikuyu? I should not ignore that. I was born a Kikuyu. It was not because I was tribal. I was born as a Kikuyu.
Okay.
And those cultures need to stay. And fighting another tribe is what you should discourage. But me speaking Kikuyu, me talking on... Right now, I'm running Keharo. There's a few, when I talk about Keharo, there's Luos, there's Kisis, there's others. I don't discriminate because we are one Kenyan.
Okay. I will not push
The milk majority
that
is
questions further because you have
But-
you
but-
clearly you have no intentions of
No.
answering that.
I'll give you a good example. Now with a Western country, let's go to America. I'll give you a good example so you see the same thing is happening. When Obama ran for election, who voted the most does not vote today. The black people. We call it the minority, the black, the Hispanic. Why did they vote? Because they're racist? No, it's because they have one person that had an agenda that is right for them. And that's what we are saying. Why are we voting against this president or this government? It's because it has refused to fulfill the agenda that they promised them.
So Uhuru erred when he talked about, or he was not alive to the fact that the country has political formations based on ethnic and tribal arithmetic. I think he erred by telling Kenyans
what I
that,
think you are assuming that when Uhuru talks about united, that 100% will be in one side.
Okay.
That will never happen. Even the most popular candidate, unless you're fake, like the Tanzania president, even the most popular candidate, democratically elected, is usually about 60%.
Okay.
The other 40% don't. Either it's through tribal formation or it's through the, like last election, 2022. Can you imagine? Dynasty versus hustler. That was the most dangerous thing to promote, according to my political
our time is up, but I would like you to tell us, who do you think best suits for the presidential, to be the flag bearer of the united opposition, between Kalonzo, between Gachagua, Matiang'i? Who do you think is the, yani yule akichukua yule,
Akichukua
yani
hivi.
kuisha maneno?
One of them. One of them.
Of
As
course
long
it-
as they're united
of
and
course
it's
it is
one
one
of
of
them.
them.
It's one at a time.
But definitely from where you sit, I am very sure you from where you sit, you can see who is seems to be more popular, because you have actually told us more about regions, popularity.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
look at popularity,
Regions.
regions in a certain, and then we look at the popularity. So even right now, I am very sure you know who seems popular.
I
among
remember
the
this show
candidates.
is called Unfiltered. You have started
Yes.
now filtering.
No, no,
You
we are
are
not
filtering.
filtering. That's what I'm
You are
saying.
filtering some information.
If I filter a person, then I'm filtering. That's what I'm saying. Right now, this month, they're going for a retreat. And I went back to this again. Come with a white smoke and black smoke.
Yes.
And it usually must come a white smoke. So I'm not going to preempt what the United Opposition is trying to do.
You're
Let
not
them,
even-
let them do it. Let them go for a retreat. Let them come with one candidate. Those fires, we want us, because as I say, black smoke and white smoke is a fire that is burning. So those fires need to continue and then to end when the white smoke comes out.
Yani you cannot,
But-
you don't even want to tell us about your party leader, Bwana Karanja.
No,
I thought you said
no,
that
no,
my
no.
party
Right
leader is
now,
the best,
right now, as a united opposition, even himself, he said, if I become the president or any other person in the government, he said that yesterday, because right now is about what is our goal between now and the next 30 days is to come up with a one presidential candidate. No matter whatever formula they will use, we need one of them. That's the only answer I can give you right now. Yes, can I have my favorite? Can you have your favorite?
I'm asking you a
Yeah,
favorite.
you can have your favorite.
So who's your favorite?
I don't have one yet.
Really? Are you sure?
No, I don't have one.
Are
yet.
you sure you don't have one?
Because no, you look at it, I mean, DCP,
Even your
I
party
can
leader
see, I
is
can
not
see
your
my
favorite.
DCP leader. My DCP leader is there. So I'm like, okay, if they put him, if he is allowed by the law and everything to be the one.
If he's allowed by the law.
There is
That's
also
why you don't
the-
have a favorite.
There is also the impeachment thing. There is a jubilee.
He's
thing.
cautious about the
There
impeachment.
there is all
So
of this.
impeachment,
and as
law.
let's put it this way.
Those are the two issues that may bar Gachagua from being cleared to vote for president.
Right now, the case is not completed, so we are still waiting for that, and that need to be factored. When is the case gonna end? When is all this gonna happen?
But you see,
But up to date, he's still a presidential candidate. Kalonzo is a presidential candidate.
Wait.
Mother Karua is a
your
presidential
party has not
candidate.
even given him a nod. I have not seen you guys hold a national delegates convention and declare him as your presidential candidate.
Because we need to know united opposition. What formula are they using?
Others have done that.
What formula are they using?
No.
But DCP, they yet to officially launch the party. Is it? Because it was just the announcement of the party, the function that they had at the DCP headquarters. It was officially announcing the party, but launching
Let me
it
ask you,
officially.
What is launching a party?
Is going for a national delegates convention and approving officials for that party.
Exactly, and
That has not happened.
that's a very easy thing to do, and that will be done. But right now,
Probably that's the
before you
reason,
launch, before
in
you
fact,
launch.
can you
Let me
please
ask you a
assist
question. Let me
you?
ask you. Let me tell you. Before you launch the party need to be a popular party, because you go to the grassroots, make sure that the party is already a popular party. That's what we have been working on.
And
So
you know, the
when
party
it
has also had candidates who have actually won in various seats.
Yes.
So
That's what I'm saying. When you talk about just launching a party, it's just a place where we go and elect. Everybody was elected interim elections, and they were all in there. We have the party leader. We have all the structures.
So
that
even
is
the
required.
party leader is an interim.
No, he's the real leader. Because when they were all elected,
Yes.
there was a meeting that was done, and there were all of them passed in there. So when you talk about the NDC,
Yes.
that will happen. Because
The
the
National
party,
Delegates
there's
Convention.
so many other things need to continue happening before the election, and all that will happen.
Okay.
Before we wrap up, Gashane,
Yes, yeah,
we leave the DCP part of it.
yeah.
But the politicians have taken over the Niko Kadi campaign.
Yes, and you expected that to happen.
Why have they taken over, including
you
the
taken
United?
that
Have you
campaign
taken
yourself?
the initiative?
What we are doing, we are helping to promote something that is good for the because I have followers, and I have followers who are Gen Zs,
Yes.
and I need to promote them. And that's what is happening. So it's not that we have taken over. We are helping them promote, because, when Gen Zs come in, sometimes the finances are not there. They say they are leaderless or something like that. So we need to put in our efforts to make sure, because it's my interest to make sure that in Keharo, most citizens do what?
They
know
also
their rights.
participate, yeah.
So we are just helping them. We are complementing to what they are doing.
Do you think they're going to bring serious revolution in the ballot in next year's polls?
Depends how many of them register, and that's why we are working on them, so that most of them register. Yes.
And can they also tilt against, when they talk about participating in an election, isn't there fear that they might just forgive all the politicians from across the political divide and probably vie for these positions?
No, if they are doing for the right of the country, whoever get elected by the most popular vote, I think he deserves to be elected. So we are not doing it that they're gonna be on our side or they'll be on the other side. It's every citizen's right to be.
Also to
To
participate.
vote.
Yeah.
So that's why we're like now, I'm promoting the vote registration. I have vehicles going around and announcing.
How are you
that
promoting the
I have
exercise?
vehicles announcing that, like right now, let's say Kahuro on Wednesday or Kahati on Tuesday. Some people might not know where the people registering are, the ABC is. So we are going around and looking at the calendar, and then we go
The
around
ABC's
and
calendar.
announce. Yes, where is this? Where can they go to register nearest to their area? So we are doing that because it's not about this person who vote this side or that side. Today is about making sure everybody who have the right to vote has that card, Niko Kadi, and we are trying to make sure that we complement them instead of, it's not taking over. I don't think, we don't call it taking over. When
It's
I'm doing it, it's complementing.
Complementing.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Engineer Mburu Wamatangi,
Yes.
for being with us here. I think our time
Our time
has
is-
really gone.
yeah.
And we want to thank you for making time to come here. Here at Unfiltered, we don't filter. So
I
we
know,
just speak
I can
as it
tell
is.
it's a hot seat.
we ask as it is to ensure that we tell Kenyans
Yes,
of what the situation is.
Yes.
And also ensuring that we are arguing from a point of facts,
Yeah.
and also a point of what Kenyans feel.
Yes, yes.
And so we thank you very much for making time.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Karaoke. Of course, we meet again Thursday with a different guest, or maybe probably we might invite you again.
I would love to be.
Yeah, again. We'll invite you definitely. Gashane.
Sasa next week kama kawaida, mimi naitwa Ndongo Gachane.
Unfiltered with Ndongo Gashane and Daniel Karaoke.